Welcome back to the Deep Dive, where we unpack a wealth of information to bring you the most fascinating insights. Today, we're embarking on a truly delicious and surprisingly extensive journey, a deep dive into the world of apple recipes. You might think you know apple dishes, but prepare to be amazed by the sheer variety and ingenuity we're about to uncover from, well, a truly incredible collection. We've got a treasure trove of recipes stretching from the most beloved comfort foods to some rather unexpected and, frankly, historically significant creations. Our mission today is to guide you through this culinary landscape, highlighting not just the unique ingredients, but the intriguing techniques and the little details to truly make each recipe a standout. It's, less about just cooking and more about understanding the apple's place in our culinary past.
Indeed. What's particularly striking here is how a single, seemingly simple fruit like the apple has inspired such a remarkably diverse range of preparations across different eras and cultures. From humble pies and robust puddings to delicate jellies and even savory dishes, this collection powerfully showcases the apple's unparalleled versatility and its enduring, almost foundational place in the kitchen. We'll be exploring not just what these recipes call for, but why certain methods or ingredient combinations were favored, offering you a captivating glimpse into the very evolution of apple cookery.
So if you're ready to discover some forgotten classics, or perhaps gain a whole new appreciation for the humble apple, let's peel back the layers and unpack this incredible array of recipes. Okay, let's kick things off with the sheer scale of what we're looking at here. Just the table of contents alone lists an astounding 53 different most wanted apple recipes.
53! That's a lot.
Right. Over 50 distinct ways to prepare apples. And it really speaks volumes about the fruit's popularity and adaptability across so many different culinary traditions.
Yeah.
We're not just talking about variations of one or two desserts. This comprehensive collection ranges from the incredibly familiar, like pies and puddings,
The classics.
to the intensely practical, like jellies and even something called apple leather.
Which sounds fascinating in itself.
It does. It's abundantly clear that apples aren't just a seasonal treat. They've been a cornerstone of diverse cuisines, a fruit that people have consistently found new and exciting ways to use throughout history.
Looking at this from a broader perspective, it really underscores apples as a true culinary staple. A fruit that is both widely accessible and robust enough to handle a multitude of cooking methods without losing its intrinsic appeal. Which, brings up an important question. What inherent qualities of the apple make it so amenable to such diverse culinary applications?
Good question. What is it about apples?
Well, several factors are at play. First, apples are naturally rich in pectin, especially in their skins and cores. This makes them an exceptional base for jellies and preserves, providing that perfect, natural set without needing much in the way of added gelling agents.
Oh, okay, the pectin, right.
Exactly. Then there's their natural acidity, which can range from bright and tart to subtly sweet. This acidity is crucial. It perfectly balances sweetness in desserts, preventing them from being, cloyingly sugary, and it adds a refreshing counterpoint to richer, savory dishes.
The texture, too, I imagine.
Absolutely. Their texture is incredibly varied. Depending on the apple variety, they can hold their shape beautifully for baking or break down into a smooth, luscious pulp ideal for stewing, sauces, or even purees. And when you skim through the recipe titles in this collection, you see this versatility play out everywhere. Baked goods like cakes and pies, a significant emphasis on long-term preserves like butters and jellies, an array of unique desserts, even drinks like shakes. And surprisingly, savory items such as soups and salads. It's a complete culinary landscape, all thanks to one fruit.
And even just glancing at the titles, you can instantly see common themes emerge, right? Pies, for example, clearly hold a truly special place in the apple's culinary story. It's not just an apple pie.
No, far from it.
We encounter variations like apple and onion pie, which immediately grabs your attention.
Definitely raises an eyebrow.
Yeah, there's apple custard pie, green apple pie, Irish apple pie, and even mock apple pie. Each of these isn't just a slight alteration. They tell a story about different culinary traditions, maybe regional influences, or even times of resourcefulness or scarcity.
Exactly. It's a fascinating glimpse into how a single concept can be reinterpreted so many times, driven by creativity and necessity.
We've just scratched the surface with names, but we're about to delve deeper, moving beyond just titles to look at the truly unique ingredients and the intriguing instructions.
The how and the why.
Exactly. The things that make each of these recipes truly stand out and offer some pretty surprising insights. When you first think of apples in the kitchen, pie is almost always the first thing that springs to mind.
It's iconic.
Totally. But this collection truly stretches our modern definition of what an apple pie can be. Let's dive into some of the more intriguing variations, starting with a real head-turner, the apple and onion pie.
Onion in an apple pie.
Talk about an unexpected pairing. This recipe calls for 6 ounces of apples, 1 hard-boiled egg, butter, a quarter pound of Spanish onions, salt, pepper, and a ready-made pie crust. The apples and onions are peeled, sliced, and then gently stewed together until almost tender. Then butter, salt, and pepper are added. But here's where it gets really interesting. Before it's covered with the crust and baked, sliced hard-boiled eggs are arranged over the apple and onion mixture.
Wow, hard-boiled eggs.
I know. The savory nature of this dish, combined with this surprising, almost unheard-of addition of hard-boiled eggs. It certainly challenges our modern perception of what an apple pie should be.
Well, one striking aspect here is how this recipe immediately transports us to an older culinary era. For centuries, pies were far more than just desserts. They often served as substantial pacings for entire meals, combining fruit with meats or vegetables.
Right, like a whole meal and a crust.
Exactly. This was long before the strict sweet-savory culinary divide that we largely adhere to today. The hard-boiled egg in this pie adds not only a unique texture, but also a distinct richness and a different kind of protein-based filling that complements the softened apples and onions, making it a much more substantial and complex dish, almost a complete meal in itself. It's a fascinating window into how food was prepared for sustenance as much as for delight.
From that savory surprise, we pivot back to something elegantly sweet with the apple and peach meringue pie. This sounds absolutely delightful. Apples, peaches, nutmeg, and then crowned with a beautiful meringue.
A classic combination, but with that meringue twist.
The process involves stewing and mashing the fruits, sweetening them, seasoning with nutmeg, and then baking them in a pie crust until done. The elegant touch comes with the meringue, whipped from 3 egg whites, powdered sugar, and vanilla until it forms stiff, airy peaks.
That beautiful glossy look.
Right. Then spread generously 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick over the baked pie and baked again until golden and set.
This specific preparation raises an important question about the deliberate play on textures within a single dish. The softness of the fruit filling, often stewed until smooth and yielding, is beautifully juxtaposed with the crisp, airy, and slightly chewy meringue topping.
That contrast, yeah.
It's a sophisticated approach to dessert, designed to offer multiple sensory experiences, the luscious, warm fruit against the delicate, cloud-like meringue, creating a much more dynamic and memorable bite. It shows a clear intent to elevate the dessert beyond just fruit in a crust.
And then we encounter the apple custard pie, which actually appears in 2 versions.
Oh, interesting. Variations on a theme.
Yeah, before moving to the truly robust apple egg pie, which takes intriguing combinations to another level altogether. The 2 versions of apple custard pie both feature stewed apples as their base, combined with eggs, sugar, and nutmeg flavoring. Version 1 introduces 3 cups of milk and calls for straining the 2 cups of stewed apples.
Strained. Okay, so smoother.
Exactly. Then the beaten egg yolks and whites are combined with the apples and nutmeg, milk added, all poured into a half-baked crust and baked like custard. Version 2 is a bit different. It uses sour apples specifically.
Ah, the type of apple matters.
Right. 3 eggs, a 1/3 cup of butter, a 1/3 cup of sugar per pie, and nutmeg. The stewed and strained apples are combined with beaten eggs, sugar, butter, and nutmeg. So subtle differences. Straining in V1, butter in V2, the mention of sour apples in V2, suggesting that acidity was a deliberate choice for balancing the richness.
That makes sense, especially with the butter adding richness in the second version.
But then we get to the apple egg pie, and this one is truly extraordinary. The ingredients paint a picture of richness and, well, old world heartiness.
Brace ourselves.
Maybe, get this, 6 boiled eggs, 6 apples, a substantial 1.5 pounds of beef suet,
Wow, beef suet.
1 pound of currants, and an array of warm spices like mace, sugar, nutmeg, all brought together with 1 or 2 teaspoons of brandy.
Beef suet, for those maybe not familiar, that's rendered beef fat, usually from around the kidneys. A powerhouse ingredient in older cooking.
Exactly. Prized for richness, energy, preservation. The recipe just says to shred all these ingredients together. The boiled eggs, apples, beef suet, currants, season them, add the brandy. Let's unpack this. Beef suets, currants, and shredded boiled eggs. This is a rich, incredibly robust pie. Definitely not your everyday light dessert.
No, definitely not.
It speaks volumes about the culinary needs and tastes of a bygone era.
This apple egg pie is a wonderful historical artifact in recipe form. It vividly illustrates older culinary traditions where pies were often incredibly substantial, almost meals in themselves, packed with energy-dense ingredients like suet.
Fuel for hard work, maybe.
Precisely. Suet provided not just a profound richness and fat content, but also played a critical role in preservation, allowing these dishes to be stored or carried for longer periods. The warm spices nutmeg and mace, which is the outer bit of the nutmeg seed, similar but maybe more delicate,
Oh, okay.
along with the brandy, would have added layers of complex flavor and, significantly, additional preservative qualities in a time before widespread refrigeration. It shows a profound understanding of how to make food last and be incredibly nourishing.
Beyond these really unique takes, we also find more traditional apple pies and tarts. But even within these classics, we see interesting variations. For instance, we have several classic apple pie variations. One version explicitly includes baking powder in the crust.
Okay, so a lighter, maybe quicker dough.
Right, that suggests a move towards that. Another simplifies the process to just 2 medium cooking apples, sugar, cinnamon, lemon zest, and pastry. Baked at high heat, then reduced. Very focused on pure apple flavor. The green apple pie notably calls for flour, a tablespoon of sifted flour to be mixed with the sliced apples, sugar, cinnamon, butter, and a bit of water.
Which is a practical tweak, probably to absorb excess moisture and thicken the filling, right? Especially if you're using really juicy apple.
Spot on. Then there's the Irish apple pie, which takes a slightly different approach again. It uses cored apples, quartered or eighths, seasoned with either cinnamon or pounded cloves, grated lemon rind, and a small amount of marmalade juice and water before being covered with puff paste.
Marmalade juice, that's a lovely touch. A little citrusy sweetness, a bit of tang to complement the apples. Nice.
But perhaps one of the most intriguing variations in the pie category is the mock apple pie. This resourceful recipe reveals so much about culinary ingenuity.
The famous mock apple pie.
Exactly. It uses a Boston cracker, basically a simple unsweetened cracker combined with cold water, fine white sugar, the pulp, juice, and grated peel from a lemon, and nutmeg. The cracker is crushed, mixed with these ingredients, poured into a half-puff paste-lined plate, covered, and baked.
Using crackers instead of apples. That's a fascinating workaround. It directly speaks to times when apples might have been seasonal, scarce, or just too expensive.
Yeah, it's really clever substitution.
Absolutely. The mock apple pie is a brilliant illustration of culinary resourcefulness driven by necessity. The lemon and nutmeg were skillfully used to provide a remarkably similar aromatic and tart-sweet profile to actual apples, effectively mimicking the flavor without needing the fruit itself.
It wasn't just about taste, it was about creating the experience of apple pie.
Exactly. This ingenuity highlights how skilled cooks would adapt to what was available, showcasing a deep understanding of flavor components and how to replicate them.
And for tarts, we also see distinct variations. Apple tart version 1 is quite substantial. 2 pounds of apples, 2 ounces of almonds, 12 ounces of fine wheat meal.
Fine wheat meal, okay. Coarser than regular flour, probably.
Yeah, seems likely.
Yeah.
Cup of sultanas or currants, cinnamon, butter, water, sugar. Apples stewed with the fruit, spices, almonds cooled. The wheat meal paste lines a dish, mixture poured in, lattice top, baked. This contrasts with apple tarts version 2, which uses rich puff pastry for the casing.
Ah, much later.
Right, and focuses on a smooth, eggy filling: 10 large tart apples, 6 egg yolks, juice and peel of 2 lemons, butter, sugar. Cored and boiled apples are beaten smooth, then combined with the egg yolks, lemon, butter, sugar. Poured into puff paste-lined patty pans and baked briefly.
The different approaches to pastry and fillings here are quite telling. They offer insight into the desired end product. Version 1, with its robust, fine wheat meal paste, a coarser, more wholesome flour, and generous inclusions of sultanas, currants, and almonds, suggests a heartier, almost full meal tart, designed to be substantial.
Right, very filling.
Version 2, on the other hand, using delicate puff pastry and focusing on a smooth, eggy, intensely lemon-flavored apple filling, points towards a more refined, perhaps lighter, dessert. It truly shows the spectrum of culinary complexity and desired outcomes within the broad category of tarts, from everyday sustenance to elegant indulgence.
Beyond freshly baked goods, apples truly shine as kings of preservation. Let's look at apple butter and apple jelly, and the significant, almost monumental differences in their preparation, particularly in terms of scale and dedication.
Yeah, preservation was serious business.
Totally. First, apple butter with cider. This recipe seems relatively straightforward. Pared, quartered apples, cider, cinnamon powder, cloves, nutmeg. The process begins with boiling down a large kettle of cider until its volume is reduced by half.
Apples are then gradually added to be moistened and are stirred frequently. Once soft, they're removed, process repeated. For truly large batches, it advises stewing overnight.
Overnight, okay.
Next day, cider and apples boiled again until they achieve a marmalade-like consistency and a very deep brown color. Spices added 30 minutes before finishing, jarred once cold. Seems manageable.
Relatively speaking, yes?
But then we get to apple butter without cider, and this one is a truly monumental undertaking.
Uh-oh.
The ingredients list is staggering. 10 gallons of water, 6 gallons of molasses,
6 gallons.
zero point 0.8 bushels of apples, pared, cored, quartered,
8 bushels. That's an enormous amount.
and a full pound of finely powdered mixed spice cloves, allspice, cinnamon, nutmeg. Instructions. Boil and skim the water and molasses in an incredibly large kettle. Reserve half the liquid. Gradually add the 8 bushels of apples to the remaining boiling liquid. Continuous hard boiling. As it thickens, add back the reserved molasses water. Stir constantly to avoid scorching. This first boil lasts 10-12 hours.
12 hours of boiling.
Then remove, cool overnight. Next morning, reboil for an additional 6 to 8 hours. Total boiling time, 18 hours.
18 hours. That's incredible commitment.
Just 30 minutes before it's done, stir in the spices, then pour into stone jars. Here's where it truly gets interesting. The sheer scale: 8 bushels of apples, 10 gallons of water, 6 gallons of molasses. These weren't just small kitchen projects.
No, this was practically industrial for home use. Community effort, maybe?
Exactly. And 18 hours of boiling, that's not just dedication. That's an incredible feat of endurance and preservation.
This truly raises an important question about the profound historical context of these recipes. They are a vivid testament to a time before widespread refrigeration, where preserving seasonal gluts of fruit was not merely a culinary choice, but an absolutely essential practice for ensuring sustenance throughout the year, especially through long winters.
Survival, basically.
Absolutely. The without cider version, with its heavy reliance on molasses, tells us something about regional availability and flavor preferences. Molasses would have offered a distinctly different flavor profile, richer, darker, more intensely sweet than cider, and perhaps was a more economical or regionally specific approach to sweetening and preservation. The immense effort and time involved, particularly that 18-hour boil.
Unbelievable.
It vividly underscores the incredible value placed on these preserved foods. They were crucial for survival and deeply integrated into household economies.
Moving to jellies, we also have several versions, each with its own nuances in how that beautiful, clear, wobbly treat is achieved. One apple jelly recipe lists 2 cups apples, 2 cups water, 2 cups loaf sugar.
Loaf sugar, that cone-shaped block, right, had to be broken up, usually higher quality.
Right, a bit of a luxury maybe. And 2 cups lemon juice. Apples boiled, drained through a jelly bag, then the juice combined with the loaf sugar and lemon juice, boiled and meticulously skimmed for 2-3 hours until set.
2 to 3 hours of boiling and skimming, that takes patience.
Another apple jelly version is slightly more focused. Sliced apples cooked gently in water in a porcelain kettle until they turn red.
Red, that's a fascinating visual cue. Wonder what that indicates chemically.
Me too. Then the juice is drained, boiled 30 months. Sugar and lemon juice added, boiled just another 10 months. The emphasis on turning red seems key. A third apple jelly recipe introduces specific apple varieties, like pippins.
Ah, pippins. Excellent for jelly tart, high pectin. Good choice.
And a unique extraction method. 20 large pippins and zests from 4 lemons placed in a tight jar placed in a larger pot of water, boiled until the apples literally dissolve.
Dissolve, wow.
Mixture strained, lemon juice added, liquid combined with loaf sugar. Boiled and skimmed meticulously every 20 minutes until jelly-like. Comparing these, you see varying techniques for extracting juice boiling, cooking till red, dissolving. Different sugars, widely varying boiling times.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to get that perfect set.
What's truly fascinating here is the consistent emphasis on clarity and achieving a perfect set, which are the absolute hallmarks of a superior jelly. The varied methods for extracting pectin and juice, often involving prolonged and precise boiling times, underscore the almost scientific aspect of traditional fruit preservation. It's not just about throwing ingredients together.
There's real technique involved.
Exactly. It's about understanding the properties of the fruit. The specific mention of pippins for version 3 is particularly significant because certain apple varieties are indeed prized for their exceptionally high pectin content and excellent tart flavor. These details reveal a sophisticated, almost intuitive understanding of fruit chemistry that existed in traditional cookery long before modern food science explained it all.
And for another truly fascinating and ancient preservation method, one that sounds quite rustic and incredibly effective: apple leather.
Apple leather, like fruit roll-ups, but maybe tougher?
Exactly. Calls for 6 pounds ripe apples, pared, quartered, 3 pounds brown sugar. Mix sugar and apples in a kettle with very little water. Mash and pound them with a large wooden spoon. Boil and skim meticulously for 3 hours, stirring frequently. Once cooked, spread thinly into large storage dishes and place under direct sunlight for 3–4 days.
Using the sun. Very clever.
After sun drying, carefully loosen the leathers, place them in a hot but turned-off oven, leave until cooled. Sunlight in a turned-off oven, that's ingenious old-school food dehydration right there. The name leather itself gives you a very clear sense of the final texture. Concentrated, chewy, portable.
If we connect this to the broader historical context, apple leather is an ancient and incredibly clever method of concentrated fruit preservation. It provides a nutrient-dense, portable food source that could last for extended periods.
Like an early energy bar.
Exactly. Perfect for travelers, soldiers, or sustaining families through periods when fresh fruit was unavailable. It's a wonderful example of practical resourcefulness, ingeniously utilizing natural energy sources like the sun and residual oven heat for effective, long-term preservation. It embodies a remarkably sustainable approach to food that has clear echoes in modern food preservation techniques.
Beyond pies and preserves, apples continue to shine in a wide variety of other baked and cooked desserts. Let's delve into some delightful apple cakes and puddings, each with its own distinct character. Our first apple cake version 1 calls for Allinson fine wheatmeal alongside white flour.
Allinson again. Often associated with wholemeal, right? Suggests a texture preference.
Seems so. Butter rubbed into the dry ingredients, egg and cold water make a paste, rolled thin. Apples arranged artfully, pointing down on a buttered tin lined with paste. Then a thin layer of remaining paste covers them before baking.
Sounds quite dense, maybe rustic, with the apples layered inside.
In contrast, apple cake version 2 presents a slightly different, perhaps more recognizably modern approach. Regular sifted flour with baking powder for leavening, shortening, milk, sliced apples pressed into the dough, sprinkled with cinnamon and sugar, baked 30 minutes, served warm with cream or milk.
So comparing these, different flours, different fats, butter versus shortening, and crucially baking powder in version 2 signaling a shift towards a lighter, quicker bake.
And the presentation is different too, layered versus apples pressed in, highlights varied goals.
This comparison of apple cakes really helps us understand the evolution of baking techniques. Version 1, with wheatmeal and rubbing butter, sounds quite traditional, leaning towards older, denser cakes may be common before chemical leavening was widespread. Version 2, using baking powder, clearly indicates a more modern approach for a softer, quicker bake, creating a lighter crumb. The flour choice fundamentally influences the final texture.
Then we have apple charlotte, another classic with intriguing variations. Apple charlotte version 1 is quite hearty, almost like a layered casserole. Cooking apples, chopped almonds, mixed sultanas currants, cinnamon stick, lemon juice, thinly sliced Allinson bread and butter. Sugar?
Allinson bread this time.
Apples stewed till pulpy, cinnamon removed, fruits, nuts, juice, sugar added, cooled. Buttered pie dish, lined with the bread slices, alternating layers with apple mixture, bread on top, baked 45 minutes. Feels substantial.
It definitely sounds filling.
Apple charlotte version 2 offers a simpler, perhaps quicker take. Juicy apples, castor sugar,
Finer grain dissolves quickly. Good for desserts.
grated lemon rind, breadcrumbs prepared with either nutter or butter. Pie dish, buttered oiled, coated with crumbs. Layers of nutter apples, rind, sugar, crumbs on top. Baked 20–30 minutes. Turned out drizzled with more castor sugar, served hot or cold with boiled custard.
So comparing these, bread slices versus breadcrumbs for structure, dried fruits and nuts in V1 for richness, different serving suggestions too.
What's truly fascinating here is the ingenuity of using bread as a primary structural and textural component in both versions.
Version 1, with layers of bread and substantial fruit mix, feels more robust, almost pudding-like. Very satisfying. Version 2, with crumbs and a quicker bake, suggests a simpler, maybe everyday preparation. It wonderfully highlights how a basic concept adapts based on ingredients, desired richness, and time available. Shows the flexibility in traditional recipes.
Puddings are another category where apples truly shine, presenting a range of comforting options. Apple pudding version 1 is quite traditional. Cored baking apples filled with cinnamon and sugar, arranged in a dish. A batter of whole milk, eggs, Allinson wholemeal again.
Consistent use of that wholemeal.
And melted butter poured over. Baked 2 hours. Seems like it'd be quite dense and wholesome. Apple pudding version 2 sounds even richer, more elaborate. Specifically calls for codlins or pippins.
Specific apple types, again, likely chosen for tartness and roasting texture.
Along with 8 large eggs, clarified butter, lemon zest, breadcrumbs, potentially orange or citron. Here, apples are roasted, pulp removed. Pulp combined with beaten eggs, sugar, clarified butter, zest, crumbs, citrus. Baked with thin paste underneath. Much more refined approach.
Right, using just the pulp gives a smoother texture. Plus clarified butter, citrus, more luxurious additions.
This comparison really illustrates a spectrum from rustic, using whole apples and simpler ingredients, to more refined approaches using specific parts like pulp and richer additions for a sophisticated outcome. And for a truly unique apple roll, that's almost like a spiral cinnamon roll.
Ooh, sounds delicious.
Begins with a syrup made from water and sugar. Rich biscuit dough rolled thin, spread with finely chopped apples, rolled into a long log. Sliced into 2-inch pieces, arranged cut side down in warm syrup, topped with butter, sugar, cinnamon. Baked till fruit is tender, crust golden. Drizzled with syrup, topped with cream.
This apple roll recipe offers a delightful interplay of textures and wonderful visual appeal, like a strudel or spiced bun. The rich biscuit dough, softened apples, warm syrup, creates an incredibly comforting dessert experience. A fantastic example of transforming simple ingredients through clever shaping and layering into something special, especially served warm with cream. Artful presentation.
Apples aren't just for substantial pies and big bakes. They also star in lighter, sometimes fried, and surprisingly elegant preparations like fritters and soufflés. Truly shows their versatility.
Right, moving beyond the expected baked goods.
Let's look at apple fritters version 1. Batter made from eggs, flour, refined sugar, nutmeg, salt, milk. Pared, cored apples, sliced in the rounds, dipped, fried in hot oil till lightly browned. Served with a sauce of sugar, white wine, and butter.
White wine sauce. Interesting, a bit more grown-up, maybe.
Apple fritters version 2 offers a slightly different approach. Sweet milk, flour, eggs where yolks and whites are beaten separately.
Ah, separating eggs, that's key for texture, makes it lighter, fluffier.
Exactly. Apples, thinly sliced, dipped, spoonfuls fried. Served at once with maple or clarified sugar syrup. Clear variations. Batter ingredients, that crucial egg separation and the accompaniments wine sauce versus maple syrup drastically changes the experience.
What's truly fascinating here is how fritters evolve from maybe simple fried fruit to a more refined dessert. The separated eggs in version 2 is a classic technique for a lighter batter, a more advanced approach. And as you noted, the sauce choice fundamentally alters the flavor profile of sophisticated wine sauce versus comforting maple syrup, highlights how minor changes lead to vastly different results.
For something far more elegant, we have apple soufflé. Apple soufflé version 1 uses steamed apple, melted butter, sugar, egg yolks, nutmeg blended. Then 6 egg whites beaten stiff and folded into the cooled mixture. Baked 30 minutes.
6 whites. That promises serious lift.
Apple soufflé version 2 has a slightly different, more intricate approach. Eggs, castor sugar, pared apples, new milk, Allenton corn flour, lemon juice.
Corn flour as a binder here. Interesting. Along with the eggs.
Apples stewed with sugar juice till pulpy, beaten, cooled. Corn flour smoothed with milk, blended into apples, stirred till boiling, cooled again, then beaten egg yolks and whisked whites combined, poured into greased soufflé pan, baked 20 minutes. So note the apple prep, steamed versus stewed pulped, binder, yolks versus corn flour plus yolks, specific order. Meticulous details for that delicate rise.
This really raises an important question about the precision and technique required for soufflés. The careful, gentle folding of stiffly beaten egg whites is absolutely crucial for that signature airy texture and rise. Both versions, despite differences, strongly emphasize meticulous preparation and timing. Underscores that a soufflé is a dish where every step matters for an impressive, delicate dessert, a real testament to the baker's skill.
And the versatility truly doesn't stop there. We see apples in creams, foules, ginger preparations, shakes, even soup. Apple cream is simple, elegant, very ripe apples, scalded, mashed, sieved to a clear pulp. Pulp beaten with double refined sifted sugar, stiff egg whites folded in, scooped into a dish at once. Beautifully light and airy.
Sounds lovely, pure apple flavor.
Apple fool sounds wonderfully comforting. Fresh apples, pitted dates, evaporated milk, cream, cloves tied in muslin, apples and dates stewed with cloves till tender, cloves discarded, fruits rubbed through strainer, milk and cream gradually added, gently boiled, served cold. The dates add a lovely caramel sweetness.
And a different texture, too. Nice pairing with the apple.
For uniquely spiced preserve, apple ginger. 4 pounds chopped apple, 4 pounds sugar.
Equal weights. That's very sweet.
Water, 1 ounce green ginger, grated rind from 4 lemons. Syrup made, apples, ginger, rind combined, boiled low heat 2 hours till clear. That green ginger and lemon would give it a wonderful sortalizing against the sweetness.
Definitely need that balance. Spicy, citrusy notes.
Then there's the surprisingly modern-sounding apple shake. peeled orange, ripe banana, brewer's yeast.
Brewer's yeast. In a shake.
I know, and green apples. Juices squeezed, combined with yeast and banana in blender till smooth, garnished. Brewer's yeast. Intriguing. Adds nutrition, maybe a unique malty flavor. Very unexpected.
Definitely pushes it beyond a simple fruit smoothie.
And apples even make it into savory territory with apple soup. Large cooking apple, small onion, sugar, seasoning, butter, corn flour, water. Onion and apple cooked till tender, rubbed through strainer, returned to pan, thickened, seasoned, served at once.
This apple soup really raises that important question about fruit and savory dishes. Apple and onion together create a wonderfully delicate balance of sweet, tart, savory notes. A fantastic example of integrating fruit into main courses or starters, and a fascinating precursor to many modern fruit-based soups. Highlights the apple's versatility beyond dessert.
Another incredibly rich aromatic dish, apple tansy. Ingredients tell a story. Pared apples, sweetened butter, 10 eggs.
10 eggs, wow.
Sweet cream, nutmeg, cinnamon, ginger, sugar, and elegant rosewater. Apples sliced thin, fried in butter. Then eggs, cream, spices, rosewater poured over, fried together. 10 eggs in rosewater sounds incredibly rich, aromatic, like a luxurious spiced apple omelet or frittata, a special occasion dish.
Absolutely. Very decadent.
Finally for this segment, apple trifle. Tart apples, orange, and quince rind.
Ugh. Quince. Lovely aroma. Adds a unique floral note.
Sugar, lemon-flavored whipped cream. Apples and rind stewed with water, sugar till cooked, pulp sieved. Cooled pulp in deep dish, topped generously with the lemon whipped cream.
The addition of quince rind alongside orange is a particularly lovely, sophisticated touch. Quince perfectly complements apples and lemon cream, adds complexity and fragrance, elevating it beyond simple apple dessert. Showcases nuanced flavor pairings.
Sometimes the simplest apple preparations are actually the most satisfying, showcasing the fruit's natural goodness without much fuss.
Absolutely. Back to basics can be wonderful.
Let's explore some foundational ways to enjoy apples, plus a few fresh takes that are surprisingly simple yet delicious. First up, baked apples. Classic. Dozen paired cored apples, brown sugar, lemon juice, lemon rind, sweetened lemon-flavored whipped cream. Apples in bake pan, holes filled with sugar, bit of juice, lemon rind inserted, baked till tender, cooled completely, served with whipped cream. A classic for a reason.
Simple perfection highlights the apple itself.
Then, boiled apple puffets offer a charming, incredibly clever individual serving option. Eggs, milk, flour, salt, baking powder, finely chopped apples combined into a thick, waffle-like batter. Here's the clever part. Teacups filled with alternating layers of batter and apples, then steamed for 60 minutes. Served hot with sugar and flavored cream.
Steamed in teacups. That's brilliant. So charming.
Isn't it? Shows resourcefulness using everyday items for specific, elegant presentations. Next, butterscotch apples sound like pure indulgence. Quartered, pared, cored apples cooked gently in water-brown sugar syrup till tender. Apples removed. Cornstarch milk mixed, cooked till boiling, poured into remaining syrup. Vanilla, butter, salt added, creating rich butterscotch sauce poured over apples. Warm, gooey, comforting.
Sounds dangerously good.
Spice-baked apples keep it simple yet incredibly flavorful. Washed cored apples have 2-3 whole cloves stuck into each. Arranged in baking dish, sugar in holes, lemon slice on top, water in bottom, baked till soft, served cold.
What's particularly fascinating here is the precise placement of cloves and lemon slices, not just aesthetics, but ensuring infusion during baking. Serving them cold then transforms it from a warm dessert into a refreshing, invigorating treat. Highlights the versatility of temperature in altering the entire experience. Takes baked apples somewhere new.
And for a truly timeless, easy preparation, stewed apples. Green tart apples, cored, sliced loaf sugar, pinch mace, whole cloves. Apples stewed in water till clear tender. Removed. Sugar added to sauce, boiled. Mace cloves added near end. Hot spice syrup poured over apples, cooled. Fundamental method, great side or base.
The building block for many other things.
And for something lighter, apples make fantastic salads, showcasing their crispness and sweetness refreshingly. Example, apple grape salad. Unflavored gelatin, half-seeded red grapes, chopped celery, diced Fuji-Rome apples, water, apple-flavored juice. Gelatin softened, dissolved, mixed with juice, chilled till thick. Apples, grapes, celery added, molded, chilled till set. A gelatin mold with apples, grapes, and celery, definite retro vibe. Showcases a different textural experience for apples. Cool, refreshing, unexpected context.
Takes you back, doesn't it? Jellied salads were huge.
Then the classic fruit salad.
So it's
Sweet ripe apples, bananas, oranges, grapes, fresh orange juice poured over, castor sugar optional, fruits layered in a bowl, fresh OJ poured over, maybe nuts or other fruits. Less a recipe, more a celebration of fresh produce, apple providing crucial crispness.
If we connect this to the broader picture, fruit salads are timeless. celebrating natural flavors and textures. The instruction to layer and add fresh juice is about presentation and keeping fruits vibrant, preventing browning, enhancing juiciness. Simple, effective way to highlight nature's bounty. Sometimes the best recipes interfere the least.
Finally, a simple apple dessert that truly lives up to its name.
Yeah.
Pure apple. 4 cored red sweet apples, spring water, cinnamon. 2-3 apples grated, combined with water and mixer, pureed. Rest sliced into small cubes, put in bowls. Puree poured over cubes, dusted with cinnamon.
Pureed apples over cubed apples.
Yeah, a remarkably clean, fresh way to enjoy the fruit. Highlights natural sweetness, provides fascinating texture contrast. Testament to how sometimes less really is more. Lets the apple be the absolute star.
Beautiful simplicity. Hashtag tag outro.
What an incredible deep dive into the world of apple recipes. Wow, from that rich, savory apple and onion pie with its unexpected hard-boiled eggs,
Still thinking about that one.
to the surprisingly modern apple shake with brewer's yeast, and the grand, almost industrial scale of those 18-hour apple butters. We've seen just how versatile and profoundly beloved this fruit truly is, across centuries.
It's a testament to human creativity and resourcefulness in the kitchen.
Indeed. This collection of most wanted apple recipes isn't merely a list of instructions, it's a living culinary timeline.
It vividly reveals how different eras, ingredient availability, household needs, and evolving tastes profoundly shaped how we prepare and eat apples. It powerfully shows us how deeply ingrained this fruit is in our traditions, consistently offering both essential sustenance and profound delight. It's a beautiful testament to making the absolute most of a natural bounty.
It truly makes you appreciate the incredible thought, the deep-seated tradition, and the sheer creativity that goes into cooking. You now have, hopefully, a whole new appreciation for the humble apple and perhaps some wonderfully adventurous new ideas for your next kitchen experiment.
Maybe not the 18-hour butter right away, though.
Huh. Maybe work up to that one. So what does this all mean for you? Next time you hold an apple, consider not just its crisp bite, but the centuries of culinary innovation it represents, and the endless possibilities it still holds for your own kitchen. Will you be inspired to try a sweet new pie, a savory concoction, or maybe eventually embark on that epic apple butter journey?
This raises an important question for you to ponder. In a world of evolving tastes and increasing convenience, which of these timeless apple preparations do you believe holds the most enduring appeal for today's palate, and why? Is it the deep comfort of a classic pie, the practical ingenuity of a preserve, or the intriguing surprise of a more adventurous pairing? Something to think about.
Food for thought indeed. Thank you for joining us on this truly delicious deep dive. We'll be back soon with more insights from the information you send our way.